Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the mayo. It's time for Miie Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Miie Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon and happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Miie Mayo's Lunchbox. Today, it's a two-headed beast. It is me in the home Casa de Mayo and Mike Lubie Lubitz in the new Casa de Lubie. We do not have Defo. I've seen photos. I am madly jealous. Poolside at Atlantis. He's just a beautiful blue skies and blue pool water, and I assume he's just having a grand old time celebrating, well, just being alive at age 71 or whatever it is now. But he's left me and Lubie to hold the fort. I got to admit, today I am dragging butt today, Lubie. How are you?
Fine. It's funny, these days without him are just different. And I'm so used. When we were on the radio, we were doing 4 hours, so every day,
Which is a lot. I mean, people who think it's just easy to show up and just gab for 4 hours. I mean, you really have to have strong vocal cords, number one, and number two, a set list agenda of things to.
Well,
talk
that was
about.
the difference. Is it wasn't really hard. The time went by fast. It was just I had to do more planning. I had to make sure we had at least 2 guests a day, and we had a lot more. I don't want to say structure because it's default. There's never structure, but I would at least make sure we had 2 guests so that there was some kind of tent poles holding the show together while he went around and talked about 7 different topics in a 30-second span. So the fact that we've moved down to 2 hours, I don't really do any of that. Like we have a guest, we have a guest. We don't. It is what it is. But when he's not on, I have to realize, oh, shoot, it's me for 2 hours. I need some kind of something to bounce things off of. So I forget that. And like Monday, we have stuff already. So I don't have to worry about that. Tuesdays are sort of open for us. It's not a big deal because it's just he and I talking sports. But without him, it was like 9 o'clock last night. And I was like, oh no, tomorrow's Tuesday. What am I going to do? so for me, I've been on since 7 o'clock this morning, so I'm ready to go. If you're waiting,
well, no, now, yeah, at least I'm giving you a little bit of a break from your own voice. And now, Defo, God bless him, he's one of those persons. I forget who they said when hopefully not for a long time, but whenever he passes, they just wonder if when he goes into the casket, his mouth is still going to be moving, and he's still going to be just talking. And because the man, he could just really, he can babble. He meanders sometimes. It drives me crazy a little bit when trying to kind of rein him in and talk about a specific subject.
Good luck.
And then all of a sudden he talks about whoever is the new pitchman for the Medicaid Advantage program. I had no idea it was that. Is that not Willem Dafoe, William Devane, who
Yes.
I guess I'm not old enough to. I guess I would know his face
know
if
the
I saw
name.
him. I don't know why I haven't seen these commercials yet. Yeah, and speaking of Medicare Advantage, those people, I guess, had those people, the elders, the ones who are over 65 in the promised land and already are getting Medicare and have choices of taking regular standard Medicare or these Medicare Advantage programs. I'm in hell now because, I'm on the, now that I'm self-employed, I have to get my own health insurance, and now it's the healthcare.gov, the exchanges. And, I had to get signed up by the 15th. I did that this morning a little bit. And,
Man.
it's just, but now I have to actually, I guess, once you get the application in, then you have time till the end of the month to actually pick a plan and then figure out among all the like 140 plans out there. And all of them, you have to, I guess, pay an arm and a leg either up front in monthly premiums, or you pay little less, and then you have to pay a arm and a leg if you actually have something go wrong and have to see a doctor. Not an easy thing. And you know what? When I was fully employed, it was also a little bit easier in that the company provided healthcare and health insurance, but seemed to be as the years went on, the company's share would be less and less, and the employees' responsibility would be more and more, both in terms of the premiums that we had to fork over and also deductibles and all that. Nobody wants to hear insurance talk, although our state legislature is now in the middle of working us over. I'm sorry, reworking the property insurance programs. And anytime,
It's a
you know,
disaster.
anytime you hear that, it's a complete disaster because they say, "Oh, we need reforms." What they are saying is that forget about getting any kind of price relief for consumers. They want to help out all their industry bunnies
Oh yeah.
and looking for more ways to transfer money from our pockets to those of the companies, big and small. Some of them who won't make it through a storm, as we've seen in the last couple of years. So that's going on in Tallahassee right now. And as much as try not to pay attention to that, because of what's going on in my world with the homeowners. And now you're welcome to your worst nightmare, because now that you've bought an expensive new home, you got to deal with insuring it to the proper amount and all that. Have
Yes.
you
Oh yeah.
figured all that out yet, or,
Yeah, you have to. I mean, they don't let you get a mortgage without having insurance set up. It's so fun. And it's gotten to the point because of whatever they've done in the state of Florida that they've made getting insurance really hard. Like
Yep.
they were literally counting our like the agent,
tiles and the
the
straps and
seller, exactly, was like, yeah, you'll be fine. And because there were some tiles missing, and the inspection company was like, look, it could be hard to get insurance. And the other agent who's been doing in this complex, he sold like 300 homes. It's like a 400 home complex. He sold like 300 homes. Like the dude has been doing sales for this complex for years. So he's like, don't worry about it, because he's going from an old mentality. What he doesn't realize, in the last year to 2 years, they put in new laws, they put in new stuff to make it almost impossible to get insurance, because insurance companies were actually having to pay, and they don't like paying. So what that's done is, whereas, yeah, if your roof was a little nicked, it wouldn't be a big deal. Where
now
your roof could have major damage. Now it's like, oh, it's missing 5 tiles. We're not giving you insurance. So it was a good time getting insurance for a house that's in good condition. I mean, it's not like it was a disaster. It wasn't a foreclosure or anything like that. But that was fun. We ended up getting our insurance. We have insurance, and it's a ridiculous rate compared to what people were paying 5 years ago. So it's fun.
And now, what I'm hearing also from friends is that, if your roof is over a certain age and you try to sell your home, forget about it. You're going to have to redo your roof before you sell the house. Makes me a little bit happier that I did have to do a full roof replacement a couple of years ago. Actually, yeah, it was just last year, 2021, when I did it. So if I need to get out of Dodge, hopefully, well, at least there's a brand new roof that won't be a impediment. But all right, well, it's time. Part of the reason I'm dragging today, it is a Tropical Acres Tuesday, but for me, last night I had a Tropical Acres Monday happy hour with my buddy Poker Sean, who just cleaned up at the Hard Rock on Sunday. Another big score for him, almost I guess it was 14,000 and change off of a $150 buy-in in a poker tournament. Yeah, he's good. He's a beast. And so Sean, I said, hey, let's grab a little happy hour celebration at Tropical Acres. We got over there last night, right when the bar opened at 4:30. And Mondays, usually after a weekend holiday, a lot of holiday parties last weekend. The boat parade was last weekend. Usually, this time of year, right before the big events, it kind of gets a little dead on Mondays. Nope, not at the bar at Tropical Acres. Partially thanks to us. And, we are always out here talking about what a great job they do. But we got out there, and the bar is almost all full all the way around the seats. And they have these little tables in the bar area where the happy hour rates apply. And, man, me and Sean, I got a one of my Belvedere martinis for $7, and Sean, he wanted the half price wine. So we got we got a really they've revamped their wine list a little bit, changed a couple things around. They have a new Zinfandel. Red Zinfandel is one of my favorite wines, Lubie, because it's yeah, no, not the white Zinfandel, which is what people who didn't know anything about wine drank back in the 1970s. Zinfandel is a grape. It's actually one of the oldest grapes. And I believe it or not, this ties into the World Cup. I believe the Zinfandel grape originated in Croatia. I could be making that up, but I know it was in one of those Balkan states. hold on a second. I'm going to be looking that up. Where did
Just you talking about just straight up Zinfandel, where it originates from? Is that what you're saying?
Zinfandel is a type of grape, the same way that
Yes,
Cabernet
obviously, yes.
Sauvignon is a type of
Yeah,
grape. The way that
yeah.
they have different. Yeah, Croatia. How
Oh,
about
really?
that? So, in
Zinfandel
honor
comes from
of
Croatia? Oh,
Croatia
wow.
being in the World Cup semis today,
I'll have
I
to get some
couldn't tell
Zinfandel.
you one dish of
Yeah,
Croatian food out there. Although I also have that up on the Google machine, and there's I guess something called uh, Krni risotto, which
I
is
mean, they
kind of
obviously
like
have
a
food. I didn't.
squid rice dish. There's
Yeah.
fritule, there's grigata, which looks like some kind of smoked fish. All these things that I've never heard of, have never eaten. I guess I really should. Um, there's something called Kulin sausage, made from special cuts of
Where would you
top
get it?
quality
That's the thing.
pork.
Like
I think, well,
Croatia's
at
pretty fun.
Nikita's Cafe, of course.
Yeah, I
So
was gonna say if Nikita's was real.
you imagine it. Ooh, something called Pag cheese, PAG cheese, local sheep cheese in Croatia. All right, well, I'm going to stick with the Zinfandel grape, which originated in Croatia and then was brought here to the West Coast in California, originally by a lot of Italian immigrant families, and they planted Zinfandel. It's a very rich, fruity, high alcohol grape. So last night we got a bottle of it's called the Federalist. It's Zinfandel. It was nice, very smooth, fruity, and potent. And so I had a martini, and we split a bottle of wine, and then we also got some happy hour bites. We got those sliders, which were good. We also got off the regular menu. We got a shrimp cocktail. We got they have this gorgonzola bread, gorgonzola toast. It's kind of like just kind of melted gorgonzola on top of like a garlicky toast. That
Nice.
was $8, and that was very satisfying. I haven't had that. I don't think ever.
That sounds
Uh,
interesting.
Bottom line, we got done. I mean, after drinking a bottle of wine, a premium cocktail, a whole bunch of different little light bites, the bill was like $58. That's including a whole bottle of good wine that you can like.
And that's nice wine. I was gonna say Zinfandel's nice.
No,
It's
this is
not.
the Federalist 2019. If you go to like one of our friends there at Primo Wine and Liquors or Total Wine, I think you're going to be spending about $25 on that bottle. And we got it half price night there. It was like 20. I think it was 45 on the menu, so like 22 doesn't change.
That's a
So
great.
it's crazy. And that's why I am a little bit dragging butt today, a little bit hungover. But thank you to Sean. He picked up the tab
Oh,
and
nice.
treated the bartender Nick. Nick was working solo on a Monday because he said, "Well, usually it's supposed to be dead, but
He's
no,
stressing out.
he was stressed out a little." But they're doing well, and got
Yeah,
to
if you get there early, you can also do the early bird. And let me ask you, because when I was growing up, early birds existed a lot, but they also had that alter cocker connection connotation. See, I don't know. Maybe it's that when it comes to money, I try to save everywhere I can. I've never cared about any of that stuff. Like, would you feel weird doing the early bird? Because to me, it's a really good deal, and be stupid to waste it
well,
if
it's
you're able
funny.
to go that early.
It's funny because the way marketing and perceptions are, early bird always connotes, like you said, older people who are, shuffling around in their walkers like Defo. And
At a happy hour.
but when you
And
rebrand
selling
it as
stuff.
a happy hour has become the new early bird, and it's become a lot more popular among younger people. Happy hours all over the place, from Las Olas up to Atlantic, Avenue in Delray Beach. I mean, people just go crazy for these happy hours, and I think a lot of it has to do with, uh, during COVID and the whole pandemic, people weren't going out late. Restaurants were closing earlier. People were working at home,
Yep.
and what they wanted to do is at the end of the day at 5 o'clock when it was quitting time, get out of the house for a little bit. So
Yep.
they would go down to the local restaurants and find the good happy hours that usually go weeknights from either 4 to 7 or 5 to 7. And, it's become a really big business and a big thing, and people love it. And you could get some really good deals out and about. And like the ones at Tropical Acres obviously is exceptional because usually they limit you in terms of which beers you can get, which
Yep.
wines. It's usually
Yep.
like
Yep.
the
Yep.
the, the lower quality shelf where you get $5 a glass. But no, at Tropical Acres. Now, the early bird itself is when you go in the dining room for the first hour,
Yeah.
and they give you a couple extra goodies because usually their meals there include the salad and the side dish, but with the early bird, you also get a soup and also dessert and a coffee or tea at the end.
Wait, that's okay. So you get soup, salad, dessert, and coffee?
So for the early bird at Tropical Acres, it's soup, salad, main course, side dish, dessert, coffee or tea.
Jesus.
So that's
That
for
wasn't so bad at all.
the base price. And some of their dishes, you could get like the petite filet mignon there for like 29 bucks. So you could get it like that meal, including the soup, the salad, the side, the dessert, the coffee for 29 bucks. I don't think you could do better than that at McDonald's, as I found out. This you're getting some quality filet. I mean, we had 2 quarter pounders and fries for 23 with dessert. So I think I'd take the 29 for one at
Exactly.
Tropical Acres. Um, hey, so and I will put in the good word. I wanted to talk about some, holidays are fast approaching. I can't believe it. Everybody's a
No,
little
it's
bit
crazy.
stressed and hectic. We realize, oh my God, we got to get Christmas shopping done. We got to get the
Yeah.
holiday planning, and what are people going to do in terms of you going to cook at home or you're going to go out? What are you and Cheryl's doing this year for Christmas Eve or Hanukkah? Do you celebrate Hanukkah now with your family?
Obviously,
What's on
yes.
the agenda?
Usually it's very regimented and it's really fun. Usually we have my sister, brother-in-law, my parents, their kids come over and we decorate our tree. It's actually we've been doing it now 3 or 4 years in a row, so it's become a tradition. It's now December 15th, 13th, and we still don't have a tree. So I want her to have a tree her first year in this house, but she also doesn't. Supposedly prices have been jacked up, so she doesn't want to spend an arm and a leg to have a tree for a week and a half. So we're trying to figure out that one out. We usually go to her parents' Christmas Eve night, Latin Noche Buena, Christmas Eve night, have Christmas dinner, Christmas Eve night, wake up, do gifts in the morning, eat leftovers for lunch, and then usually go home. Hanukkah, usually the first night or one of the middle nights that's on a weekend, we'll go to my parents' house or my sister's house and do the candles, do
The lighting,
latkes, do
right?
gifts, do the whole thing. Um, Hanukkah, I think we're pretty still standard because it starts Sunday, which is solid.
Sunday night, so you could do it after a day of football
And
and
then
all
I
that.
think
Yeah.
we'll do Christmas at her parents'. The getting our tree is where we're sort of hung up
It's
this
weird this year because the holidays are all falling on the weekend. So we get, those of us who are in the working 9 to 5 jobs, they really don't get the full, usually if the Christmas falls on a Wednesday, the whole week is out.
year.
People it's off Tuesday for Christmas Eve, Monday. Oh, well, why am I bothering to go in on Monday? And then like by the time Thursday rolls around, oh, it's Boxing Day. No, forget that whole
Yeah,
week's a wipeout.
yeah,
Now with it being on, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve on a Saturday night,
yeah.
and then both of those holidays falling on a Sunday. The federal holidays still they give you that extra day on the Mondays, so it becomes 3-day weekends. But it's not like that whole
In like 8 days.
2 week bacchanal that we're used to. But again, I'm getting a lot of questions, queries on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group. Hello, everybody out there who's tuning in. Hello, Tom T. I'm going to be getting to you because you're doing a lot of different holiday stuff. Tom T is based out of Nobo Brewing Company up in Boynton Beach. I saw that he was going to be doing like a New
Also,
Orleans jazz brunch this
no,
Sunday, kind of a pre-holiday thing.
nice.
And or he could call it a Hanukkah brunch if he wants to. He wants to get all Jewish on us, but I don't think Tanazini is that Jewish. But
So Jewish.
people don't think Mayo is Jewish, but I am Maya Skoski. So today I bought my bag of 5-pound russet potatoes.
Nice,
Did not
nice.
buy it at my local Publix. I was in my Walmart this morning, and you know me, I become crazy and save money at my Walmart neighborhood market. Guess how much I paid for a 5-pound bag of Idaho russet potatoes at my neighborhood Walmart store?
450.
Yeah, so
Right down.
usually at Publix now, like sometimes they'll give you a bag for 5.99, and I hate to just keep harshing on Publix, but they give me the ammunition with their pricing. Yeah, usually like potatoes, sometimes at 99 cents a pound. So yeah, if you get a 5-pound bag for $5, that's okay. Walmart, $1.50,
Really?
$1.50, and these were good, healthy looking russet potatoes. And for those who make latkes by hand, like I do, that's
And
one
my
of
mom
my
says,
my
huh?
my
Yeah.
one tradition. I do get the grater out, and it's
Nice.
such a simple recipe because really all you need is a couple of eggs. You get the potatoes and the onions, which you kind of do. Every time you grate a potato, grate half an onion and put
Yeah.
it all in the one big bowl. You put a couple of eggs in there, a little bit of flour, or matzo meal. But
Matzo meal. My mom
I
does meal.
some people, traditionally some people use matzo meal. I prefer flour, and then I just a little salt and pepper, and you mix it all up, and you just start throwing them in the frying pans, and just have lots of hot oil. And I use the what do I use? Canola oil for the frying them up, and you could use basic vegetable oil, but it's a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it on Sunday because both my brother and sister-in-law are working at Gulfstream on Sundays, and my daughter is working a shift at the ice cream parlor where she scoops on Sunday. We might do it in the middle of the week next week
Yeah.
and have our celebration when everybody is a little more chill. But that's going to be Hanukkah for me. And I was very happy to snag my potatoes at $1.50. So
Yeah, that's a good price.
that was good stuff because the 5 pound bag usually gets me through a whole batch of latkes, enough to feed a family of five, but a pound of potatoes each. And then I usually pick up. You know what? I'll probably pick up some brisket from our friends at
I'm gonna
Grandpa's,
Grandpa's. Yeah, that seems like
and
nice.
we'll be at Grandpa's. We're dragging today. I don't have any guests. It's kind of our refractory day. We get a chance to
Yeah.
kind of just kind of chill. We had a good time, obviously, with our first Gulfstream show last Friday. Congratulations to Andy, man. He became the first winner of the combined trivia and horse picking contest. I created a rule. I don't know if it's fair. I said if you win the contest, you can't win again for another 90 days.
Yeah, yeah, that's standard. You don't
Again,
want to
we're
stick
going to
with.
be doing this for about 4 months. So anybody who wins in the first 3 months, well, basically anybody who wins in the first month will be eligible to win again in April. But
Less.
anybody else who wins basically won't be able to win again after the new year. But I think it's fair. We want to spread the wealth. Yesterday, we had a good time with Chris Perkins talking about how he spatchcocks his chickens and gets
Okay,
all the
what is that?
turkey.
And I meant to ask him, and you kept making fun of him enough where I figured you've heard of the term. What does that mean? I
So
didn't know.
spatchcock is just basically the way that you cut open a bird. So, usually you roast the bird whole, where it's
Yes,
just a big whole plump thing. When you
yes.
spatchcock something, you basically take your cleaver right in half and where the bread, but from the bottom, not at the top of the bread, but like from the bottom, and you split it open. So then
Okay.
it sits face down, like two halves face down in whatever you cook, on a oven, baking pan or whatever,
Yeah.
and you throw it in the oven and roast it. So that's how when you spatchcock it, it allows two things to happen. It cooks quicker, and
Okay.
it also gives more surface area to basically become crispy and crunchy and caramelized. So a lot of people do like to spatchcock their chickens. Turkey is a little bit more difficult because turkeys are such
That's
a big
okay.
bird, but I did see some people at Thanksgiving time spatchcock
Oh,
their
jeez.
turkeys. But I just like saying the word spatchcock because it's funny.
I just never heard of it. And he said you made fun of him the whole show. So I'm like, okay, this must be a common thing. I've never heard of doing that. That does seem like an interesting way of cooking it, though. It feels like it cooks it more even.
And we have our culinary expert on hand, Tom T, chiming in saying you also
Exactly.
remove the backbone when you're spatchcocking. So it also makes it a little bit easier eating when you get finally
I was
done
gonna say.
cooking it. I think it's a technique that's big in South Africa. I could be making that up, Tom T. I know that there's a couple of these chicken places that were popular. Nando's was a chain in the Washington, D.C. area that was specializing in spatchcocked birds and also using the peri peri hot sauce. At one point, there was a local, I don't want to say imitator, but the people from the restaurant people, Tim Petrillo, opened up a place down here, and they had a couple of locations that also featured these peri peri spatchcock birds. And it's but they've all gone out of business, which is unfortunate because they had a great chicken thigh sandwich. It was one of the great chicken sandwiches around town. But
Nice.
Tim Petrillo and the restaurant people will be coming on the show in January 4th. We've got that date booked. We're going to go out to S3, which stands for Sun, Surf, and Sand or something like that. but it's a restaurant that's been at the base of the Hilton Beach Hotel there on Fort Lauderdale Beach for a long time, and they do a really good job. And we're gonna do a remote show there to, help promote the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival, which is having one of their intimate dinner events at S3. I believe that one is going to be on Thursday, January 12th. I should double check these things while I'm on the air here, but um, yeah. But anyway, so I've been trying to line up something for. I was hoping to do something tomorrow, but it looks like it's a little too late for a lot of people. But we're going to have a full lineup of going to different participating restaurants and chefs taking part in that Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival, and talking about a good stocking stuffer. Good, the tickets to that is going to be great. I'm kind of all over the place today. Let me wrap up talking about Tropical Acres, and we'll consider that the live spot for the day, because not only was I obviously drinking and eating there last night, but they're going to have a holiday schedule. It's a little bit offbeat because usually they give their workers off Sundays year round. They usually, but they are open. They actually was talking to Marie, who is Joe Studiali's sister, one of the Studiali family, yesterday, about how they used to be open 365 days a year, which is for a big place like that, and it always it treats and greets a lot of tourists. They did that for a while, but at some point you got to give your staff a break. Then they went to Sundays off during the summertime, and then during COVID they went to Sundays off all the time, which they still do. But they are open for major holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas. But this year, well, what they've done is now they close on Christmas Eve and are open on Christmas Day. So that's what you want to get in mind. They have reservations still available for
Nice.
Christmas Day, and they're going to be serving that day a special holiday menu from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. And space still remains. So again, they're going to be closed on Saturday night, Christmas Eve, but open Christmas Day. And then it's a reverse the following weekend. They're going to be open on Saturday night, New Year's Eve, and
Probably.
closed on Sunday, New Year's Day. Little bit
Sounds-
tricky, but if you want to get your reservations for any of those open dates, including the Christmas Day meal from 1 to 8 p.m., just give them a call at 954-989-2500, 954-989-2500. That's Tropical Acres, 2500 Griffin Road there in Old Fort Lauderdale, Dania Beach, just west of 95 and the airport. And you can make your reservations for New Year's Eve, Christmas Day, or any of the holiday days in between. It's a fantastic spot to take all the guesswork and all the labor out of your own home and still get whatever you like. Beautiful prime rib. And during the holidays, they upgrade the prime rib and they start getting the USDA prime rib that they serve. They also have holiday hams and turkeys with all the dressings, along with their regular menu of steaks and chops, the beautiful lamb chops, the great filet mignon, etc., etc. Go to tropicalacres.com for all the details. And when you go there, and don't forget, yeah, it's still half price wine night tonight on a Tuesday. So you might want to check that out along with the happy hour in the bar. Tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. The Studialis will take great care of you no matter what time of year.
This is Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Defo is doing his thing in Nassau, Bahamas. We are doing our thing today here on a Tropical Acres Tuesday. Looking forward to our ventures out to Grandpa's and Gulfstream Park later in the week, and looking to rejoining you right after this on today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent. You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox, and Lubie is freezing up there. I hope you. Yeah, he looks okay now. All right, that's it. He's making a face. He's making a Mayo
I was
face.
just sitting there. No, I wasn't frozen. I was
Okay.
I love the. You can always tell your energy levels. I just find it funny, and I was like, okay, is he gonna wake up now?
Now I'm seeing you like on the Japanese Godzilla movie where your mouth is moving, but the words are coming later. But that's okay. We can hear you loud and clear, and that's the important thing. So just to put a bow on the yesterday's chicken parm or chicken mozzarella sandwich, as they call it at Wendy's, because I saw that picture of the beautiful chicken parm from Pizza Spot, and that got me thinking of chicken parm again. And I actually brought some of the leftovers to my daughter when I picked her up from school yesterday and let her sample it. And it was funny because she took a bite. It wasn't hot or fresh or anything like that, but she took a couple of bites and she just said, yeah, it's okay. And but then her bottom line was the same as mine because I told her, well, it kind of costs like over $7 when you include the tax just for the sandwich. And she goes, for that price, I would just rather go to the Pizza Spot or Antonio's or Concadoro or any of those local, pizza parlors and just pay the extra couple of bucks and get the the chicken parms there. That usually, I think at the Pizza Spot it's going for $9 and change. And so yeah, I'd rather just her summation was the same as mine. It was like it's okay, but I'd rather go get the real deal for a couple dollars more. And your thoughts were same?
Well, and that's why I don't spit. That's my problem. And the funny thing is, I don't spit at fast food like a lot of people. Oh, fast food. It has its purpose. It has its place. Fine. Like Bill Burr made fun of it years ago, talking about McDonald's, saying, "Look, McDonald's, it's not fine dining. Like it's there for whatever it's there for." So I don't, and I think every business has its reason. So I'm not. My issue is they've raised their price, not commiserate with casual dining places like either the mom and pop or the chain, like the Olive Gardens or the small red sauce Italian places, as you called them. Their prices are not that different anymore. Like
Right.
a chicken parm dinner, fine, but like a chicken parm sub, a chicken parm sandwich is what, $10?
Yeah, you
Nine.
get them anywhere between, $8.95 and $12.95, depending on the size and all
And
that.
if you
Yeah.
call ahead, it takes the same amount of time. Like, so
Yeah.
to me, that's the problem with fast food is they keep raising their prices. Like Pollo Tropical, which I love pollo. Like I used to eat pollo regularly. Their meals were amazing. It was like you could get a meal for $5.50. It was like, what the heck? But now that same meal is $8. Like, so why wouldn't I go to a sit down Cuban place and spend 10 when I
Yeah, a
can
lot
spend
of places like sit down restaurants have lunch specials for,
yeah,
$9.95. The Cuban place like Las Vegas or
yeah, there's a lot of
my
them
local red
here.
sauce joints they have 9.95 lunch specials for chicken franchise or things like that. So yeah, they're pricing themselves not out of the market. I mean, look, there's always going to be people who will go and do the drive-through thing just because it's convenient, and they're
Yes.
in a hurry. So I guess they'll always be able to capture that market, and some of that is not going to be as sensitive to price as maybe you and I would be, who are willing to go out and patronize the local mom and pops. So,
Exactly.
but my other thought on the Wendy's chicken mozzarella was how their advertising slogan used to be "Where's the beef?" They would make fun of the other uh, the other fast food competitors with their puny burgers, and they would say, "What was her name? Cora something?" The
I don't
little
know. I
old
know what
lady.
you're talking about.
But she was like, "Where's the beef?" Well, when I ate that sandwich, my question was, "Where's the sauce?" There really wasn't much sauce. There was just like like you wouldn't even call it a smattering. It was like a hint, a vapor of sauce. I don't know, like they just airbrushed the bun, the top of the bun. It's not like sauce was dripping down the sides. So I took matters into my own hands and I just, took one of my many jars of spaghetti sauce out of the fridge. And that reminds me, we are going to arrange that. It's probably going to be the last week of the year after Christmas and before New Year's Eve, where we'll get into Pizza Spot and assemble a panel of sauce experts. And I don't know if Tom T will be available that day. I'll probably ask Joe Casale. He's a good Italian, that has a great Italian palate. And that brings me up to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'm a little confused this year. It used to be that Michelle would cook both meals and would do the Feast of the Seven Fishes on Christmas Eve and then do like a traditional Christmas Day dinner, like with a standing rib roast or a tenderloin or something like that. This year, there was talk from her camp that she might not be doing both, that she's had enough of it. She's tired of cooking double duty. I don't know if that was just post Thanksgiving fatigue or not, but I always enjoy the family meals, even though we're no longer married, but we, still invite friends and other family and usually make fun times out of it. But if she really does bail on the Christmas Eve dinner, then I have options because my friend Joe C is, I guess, having a little bit of a Christmas Eve dinner that he's making I don't know if it's 7 of fishes, but I think he's doing at least a few of them. He's got like a lobster sauce with
Oh
pasta
wow.
makes, and it sounded good. Maybe a little bit of a shrimp cocktail. I could bring a couple other fish dishes. So I don't know. I'm right now. I'm in that unknown no man's land. Michelle bluffing? Is she gonna do it? Because if she cooks, I got to show up. Otherwise, I won't get
Yes,
invited
yes,
next time, and
yes.
I can't give up that lifetime pass because her cooking is so good. But on the other hand, it would be nice to celebrate with other friends, new friends, and we'll see what happens. So
I
that's
would
gonna be
confirm. I would definitely, before you make any plans, I would definitely circle back and make sure, she's not doing anything.
yeah.
That's for sure.
Claire Peller was the woman who
That's who.
famously shouted, "Where's the beef?"
Where's the
Tom
beef?
T is really helping out today. We might have to give him residuals, give him Defoe's share for the day. So that was the "Where's the beef?" Man, I'm old. I think those commercials back in the 1980s. If you don't remember
I
those,
was young. Yeah, I know of what you speak, but I don't remember it exactly. I've seen
yeah.
them.
So that is put the bow into the chicken mozzarella sandwich, and I'm sure there's other new exciting fast foods that I can try. I've been meaning to get to and try the Arby's Steakhouse burger because
It's not bad. I'm
you've
not gonna
had
lie.
it,
I had it the last time around because Cerny gave you so much guff that I figured I'd at least try it. It's actually not bad, but again, you're spending like $7 to get a burger at Arby's, and it's
right?
like it's okay, it's cool, but like I'd rather go spend 9 at a sit down or 8 or 10 at a sit down
Yeah,
than me
and
just
there's a
gonna be a half
bunch.
a pound. Like,
A lot of restaurants or sports bars do like these burger promotions on a Monday
yes,
night where you could get them. It used to be $5. The days of $5 burger night at local is pretty much over, but you could still get them for $7. And now some places are doing $10, get a burger, fries, and a beer. That's always a good square
yep,
deal.
yep, yep, yep.
Especially if you're going to be paying 7 at an Arby's versus 10 for a burger, fries, and a beer at a local, sports bar or something. That's in my mind would be preferable. But hey, so a lot of chatter, people asking on the different groups, well, where do you go for Christmas Eve or Christmas dinner? Because we're in South Florida, it's not like it was in some of those, well, small towns like I grew up in New York City. But in New York City, it used to be Christmas Eve was pretty much dead. No self-respecting Italian restaurant would be caught dead open on Christmas Eve. That has to be family night, midnight
Yep,
mass, and
yep, yep,
Feast of
yep.
the Seven Fishes. That's changed. Everything has changed a little bit. But basically, when I was growing up, the only choices were you go to your local Jewish deli, if they'd be open, and or
Like,
your local Chinese restaurant.
yep,
And
yep,
back
yep.
then, we didn't have the whole different array of Asian, Thai or Japanese sushi. Back when I was growing up in Brooklyn, it was strictly Chinese, Cantonese, and they would all be open on Christmas Day, and it would be packed with
That's where
all
all the
the
Jews go.
members of the tribe. And that was our holiday tradition up there. Is we'd
Yep,
go
yep,
to the big premiere blockbuster movie, or movies that are going
yep.
to be getting all the Academy Award consideration would usually open up
Christmas. Yep.
around Christmas Day, and we'd go into the city, Manhattan, the big island of Manhattan. We would go to the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center on Christmas Day because all the
Christmas
people who
gone.
celebrated Christmas were actually home with family opening presents. So that was a good day to go into the city, see a movie, and check out all the stores. I remember FAO Schwartz, and they would decorate all their windows along Fifth
Yep.
Avenue. Well, FAO Schwartz was the that was the toy store, right?
It was a
And
toy
then
store that was in Home Alone. If it was
yeah,
short.
that was the toy store in Home Alone, and they didn't have window decorations, but just so much as, and I think they were closed on Christmas Day, but to go in there and shop the weeks before was great.
Yep.
I'm thinking of there was the windows up and down. It wasn't Macy's. It was another famous store, a department store that had just all their windows dressed up. It was great, great times. But now we're down here, and now we're in the middle of tourist either heaven or hell, depending on your perspective.
What's interesting is it's so funny because my wife only shops online. So we were at my nephew's birthday was this weekend, and there's I guess a game place at Sawgrass. So we had to go to Sawgrass. We never go to Sawgrass. I actually like Sawgrass because I grew up there. My first 5 jobs were all at Sawgrass. All my friends worked at Sawgrass. So I have a good feeling for Sawgrass. My wife hates it. She's from Coral Springs. She didn't shop at Sawgrass, so we don't go there ever. And we were there this weekend, and it was packed, and there was no parking. And she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Christmas time." She's like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Listen, Miss Amazon, I guess a lot of people still go out, and maybe it's a COVID thing. I wanted to ask you about this, but department stores are supposedly dying. Every time I go to one, the last year, there's a nice amount of people there. So I don't know if it's that people are sick of Amazon or they're sick of being at home, but
Yeah,
like it was packed. Like it was packed this past weekend at Sawgrass.
yeah. My theory on this, and I was talking about this with Stephen Dickstein of Best of Delray Beach. You could download the app now. Go to the App Store or Google Play at Best of Delray or Best of Local to
Nice.
find all you need in the world of restaurants, entertainment, attractions, and shopping in the Delray Beach area. But we were talking about how places were mobbed. They had their Christmas tree lighting the other week, and it was a Tuesday night. And I think there were like 15,000 people that crowded that old school square up there.
Oh wow.
I'm noticing, again, like you said, the malls and the actual stores are packed. And
Yep.
my theory is that people were during the pandemic, isolating and actually just doing everything at home, the shopping. the eating, the working, and kind of, I think, a collective cabin fever set in. And now that, look, COVID's not gone, the numbers are spiking again. It's, but there's degrees of risk depending on how old you are and how many vaccines you've had and all that. But now that, people who have been fully vaccinated, who are in relatively decent health, who are, under the age of 65, they're feeling much more comfortable going out in crowds. And I just think people they want to be surrounded by other people. I'm noticing a lot more hugging and handshaking, and people just they want that feeling of tactile experience, going out and shopping and feeling the clothes again, and looking at the products and being able to try things on. All this stuff, I think it's directly attributable to being a reaction to the COVID captivity for a couple of years.
And that's when I'm just curious how long it lasts. And I hope see, the funny thing is, I know that we're in the middle of the world because we're now doing everything digital. And I like broadcasting this way because it gets the stuff right out to people, and people could watch it either live or later, which is something that was a little bit more difficult when we were just doing radio years ago. But I'm old school in the sense that I like to go I don't like shopping the mall per se. Like, I'm not going to be there for 5 hours, but I like parking, going in the store, looking at the stuff, buying it, and leaving. Like, I'm just weird that way, I guess. So I'm hoping that it doesn't just go away again. Like, but I'm wondering if it will. Like, I wonder if people will go back to that malaise of, oh, I don't want to be home.
I think it's going to be ups and downs, and but down here, because people are coming from out of town and traveling, and they want to get out and about. They don't, when they come down here, they might be going on a cruise ship for a week, but those days where they have a couple of days before they get back on the flight to whatever cold, barren wastelands that they come from, they do want to get out and be on Las Olas, or go up to Delray to Atlantic Avenue, or go down to South Beach, and so and hit some of the the shops and the sites. And so, getting back to holidays, the actual Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, most of the restaurants on those touristy strips are open.
Yeah.
And I know that the ice cream parlor where my daughter works at, they're open every day, including Christmas Eve and Christmas. And they've basically been told that you've got to pick 2 out of the 4 shifts, either daytime or nighttime for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. That they've got every worker has to work 2 of those 4 shifts, which is not, bah humbug, but you could still have a holiday meal at night if you're working the day shift. So, but that because we are so geared towards tourists, and there's so many elderly people that can't no longer cook for themselves, so they going to be going out and about, and there's no lack of restaurants open. And most of the major chains, I think, are open. All the hotel restaurants are open up and down along the coasts, because they have to be. So it's not that hard finding a good option for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And like Tropical Acres, some places will be closed for one but open for the other. And I don't know what Joey is doing at Cafe Seville. They might be closing the whole weekend, because God bless them at Cafe Seville. They've been such great business. They and they could afford to just give their staff the whole weekend off, because they're usually closed on Sundays too. Hey, talking about the holidays and making a good, coming up with a good gift for the food lover in your life, the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is coming up right after the holidays, in the middle part of January. We're going to be there doing all kinds of things and judging and making appearances. We might even do a little live streaming on the grand tasting. I haven't told you that yet, but we'll see what they want to do. But it's going to be a fun festival, and go right online now to vlfoodwine.com. That's VL, like Visit Lauderdale Foodwine.com, and you could check out all the different events and festivities and buy your tickets. As I mentioned earlier, you got the intimate dining series is going to be taking place earlier in the week, from the Monday night, January 9th, through the Thursday night, the 12th, at all kinds of great places around town, including the Heritage Italian Restaurant, the Evelyn's restaurant at the Four Seasons Hotel on the beach. Our friends Brad and Dave at Even Keel Fish Shack are going to be taking part in the Paula De Silva dinner at the Ritz Carlton. Paula used to work there together with Brad and Dave, and Paula and friends are going to be fixing a great feast over at the Burlock Coast restaurant. All these tickets are available, but you also want to go to the Big Three. The main events is going to be the cocktail competition. That's going to be Wednesday night, January 11th. And then there is the Smithfield Barbecue Battle at the Hyatt Centric Hotel, downtown Fort Lauderdale, on Friday the 13th. We're going to be talking with last year's defending champion, Ed. Is going to be Ed Randolph will be coming on the show Thursday by video.
Nice.
We'll talk to him about defending his belt. They actually gave out a belt, not a crown.
Nice.
So that's the barbecue. And then, of course, the main event is the grand tasting on Saturday, January 14th at Las Olas Beachfront Park there, corner of A1A and Las Olas Boulevard. Going to be a ton of local restaurants with food for the taking, along with lots of wine and other good spirits set up in the tent outdoors. It's going to be beautiful weather. I can virtually guarantee it. And you could go online, get the tickets, and when you get your tickets, punch in the promo code Lunchbox and get an additional 15% off the already low ticket prices. Go to Visit Lauderdale. Go to VLFoodWine.com to get all your tickets and check out all the events. And that Sunday, a couple of things going on. There's going to be Family Day, where free admission to the same Las Olas Beachfront Park, and kind of some demonstrations, cooking demonstrations, things for the whole family on that Sunday. That would be January 15th. There'll be food trucks where you could buy some food set up that Sunday. There's also now a late addition, a Sunday brunch that's going to be taking place at Temple Street Eatery. They're
Nice.
calling it the Chino Latino. It's going to be a blend of the chefs, Alex and Diego, a little bit of Asian and meets Latin cuisine, and that's going to be a nice brunch. The tickets, again, available online, VLFoodWine.com. Check it out, and we'll see you out there.
And we will see you with more Mike Mayo's Lunchbox to wrap things up on this Tropical Acres Tuesday after this.
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. And we're back on the Lunchbox, wrapping up another day. Oh, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say our friend Chef Brad over at Even Keel. He's going to be celebrating a birthday this week. I think it's
Hey, happy
on
birthday, Brad.
Wednesday or Thursday. So he's going to be taking a couple days off. So, but we're going to go in there next week for our monthly remote visit
Nice.
and hopefully hear all the gory details about how he celebrated his birthday, and also getting ready for all the holidays. And yeah, so that is coming up. And we also have to talk about the World Cup today. So obviously, you're pulling for Croatia. Is this what we're to? You just wear the
Well,
shirt.
yeah, it's more ironic. I'm pulling for Argentina.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess that's the
I
sentimental
think
pick.
we get one. Yeah. I think we
Even
do.
though, I guess Argentina has won before in 1986
Yeah,
when it was
Maradona.
Maradona was the star, but Lionel Messi has never won a World Cup. So I guess a lot of people are rooting for him
Yeah.
to prevail over Croatia and to have a little bit of diverse representation because it's nice to have different continents. And,
Yep.
we've got South America and we've got Africa going tomorrow in the form of Morocco against France. And I got to see if we might be doing something tomorrow. I'm trying to pull a rabbit out of a hat. And because I haven't been in touch, but Visit Lauderdale wanted to get a remote Visit Lauderdale show in tomorrow, and I think it would be good
Nice.
to tie into maybe the France Morocco game and maybe go to a French joint on Las Olas Boulevard. I'm going to scout it out later today and see what
Okay.
I could come up with. But Greater Fort Lauderdale, in any event, they welcome everyone under the sun: Moroccans, the French, the Croatians, as well as the Argentines. Is it Argentinians or Argentines?
Argentinians. I think it's
Argentinians are the pet. Yes. So everyone under the sun, every continent under the sun, every flavor under the sun, and all you foodies out there, the culinary explorers, cocktail connoisseurs, craft beer aficionados, come one, come all, get ready to savor every moment and every flavor in Greater Fort Lauderdale because we've got dockside dining with breathtaking views of the ocean and the intracoastal, lively cafes along Las Olas Boulevard, award-winning chefs serving up every cuisine imaginable, like our friends Catherine, Timon and Marissa at the Catherine restaurant. They're going to be taking part in the food festival also with the intimate dinner. There's a world-class culinary scene that's waiting for you here. So come stay and play at Greater Fort Lauderdale. Discover taste sensations at more than 4,000 area restaurants and explore the thrilling nightlife scene filled with craft breweries like Funky Buddha. And that's another place taking part that's having an
yes.
intimate dinner.
Nice.
Chef Jeff Vincent, I'm trying to arrange for a remote show there at some point in the next couple of weeks.
Do it. That
I'm
place
going
is
to
great.
be getting around, yeah, because we do love that Hop Gun and the Floridian beers and Funky Buddha. What a great local success story. And they have great food there too with Chef Vincent. They'll be doing an intimate dinner on the Thursday night, January 12th. Actually, not one of those fancy ones. It's more of a beer pairing dinner with some good eats, and it's a little bit more reasonably priced at $99. So check that one out also on the vlfoodwine.com website. But you want to check out Funky Buddha and all the other great breweries in town on the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail. Along with the rooftop bars and expert mixologists serving up all kinds of creative, inventive cocktails. It's a never-ending culinary celebration here in Greater Fort Lauderdale, and everyone's invited. So for more information about all the upcoming events, promotions, and deals, go to visitlauderdale.com.
And for more of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, tune in tomorrow right here at 12
Yes, it
p.m.
could be from mystery location somewhere, which I will put up details as soon as I firm them up, or it might be just another day in the man caves. But no matter what, it's going to be a fun time. We'll talk some food, and we'll probably talk a little bit of sports too. Meanwhile, how about the Patriots? They look good again. Everybody in the AFC East is now above 500. My doomsday scenario. I hate to be the naysayer there, Lubie, but all the teams that they got to face from the AFC East now have winning records.
Automatics. Yeah, I know.
The Jets, the Bills in Buffalo on Saturday, the New England Patriots in New England. That would be New Year's weekend, New Year's Eve. The schedule is going to be a little scrambled the next couple of weeks too. Sarni's chiming in that New Year's Eve is going to be the Saturday is going to have the bulk of the NFL action that weekend. 11 games, but the Dolphins are playing on Christmas Day itself down here against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, 1 p.m. game, Christmas Day at the Hard Rock Stadium. That'd be a good way to spend Christmas Day before you have your feast. And hopefully the Dolphins can get a victory that day because they're going to need that one for
Be
sure.
that bad, yeah.
So, all right, Lubie, thanks for holding the fort with me. I'm going to say go Argentina. I want to see Messi win. You want to see the best player of his generation win.
Get one.
And Ronaldo is already out. The prima donna fizzled. And but Messi, even though he might have lost a step, he is wily. He has made some great passes and assists. He's also struck some great goals. So yeah, why not? Even though they've won it all. And if they don't win, then it's great to see a country like Croatia, never been in a World Cup final before. If they go through, that would be a lot of excitement for a relatively small country that's been through a lot in the last 40 years. So we'll see. Fingers crossed today. My pick will be Argentina in penalty kicks. We'll see what happens. And we'll get to tomorrow, Morocco versus France, which should be also another thrilling game. All right. Defo's not here to take a gigantic shower over the World Cup festivities. I think it's a great event, a great spectacle, even though you don't have to like the country that's hosting it or some of the things that are involved with the organizers or FIFA. The game and the sport itself, it's
a fun event.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. We will be back tomorrow. Until then, for Mike Lubie Lubitz, it's Mike Mayonnaise Mayo saying enjoy every Saturday.